everyone, this is Jacqui Cooper with JCooperTravels, and I want to welcome everyone back to this episode. I have a guest on, Richard Bowling, who I've had on before. We've had a variety of conversations about coaching, about entrepreneurship, about inspiration, about success and mindset. Today, we're going to be talking about a book that he is a part of and that he's written many things. And this is just one of many books that we're going to be chatting about. But before I get to it, to announce it and share a little bit more about how he became featured in this book, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the JCooperTravels show in case you're new to this. Definitely like and subscribe. We have many, many episodes, and the whole purpose is to feature different stories of individuals from around the world. And it's all about how do we travel in life personally, professionally, fitness-wise, inspiration-wise, spiritually. And today our story is about success. And this is the third book in a series. The first one was called The Successful Mind, the next one, The Successful Body. And this one might actually be even the most important. It's called The Successful Spirit. And in many ways, it's the most important because my guest is on it and written in it. So it's very important. Richard, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, so this book was all about top performers and sharing secrets to create that winning mindset. And I know that you shared with me that the book was just published in June and everyone can go to Amazon to get it. So really, this is your book launch in many ways. So congratulations.
Thank you. This is exciting to me because this is the first time I've been officially a published author. The only other time I was inside of a published book was actually the Guinness Book of World Records, which was 38 years ago.
So what prompted you to be in the Guinness World Book of Records?
I was in the Guinness Book, the 1983 version of the Guinness Book of World Record for the longest table tennis rally ever, which was 10 hours and 9 minutes.
Wow. Such stamina and talent and I know that we've talked about your coaching both engineers as well as high performers in an earlier episode. So everyone definitely go back and take a listen to that. So what was your chapter about? Because I know there were 33 co-authors. What was your chapter about?
My chapter is all about the title's called Creating Your Future Success Persona. And I give them stories and tips and insights on how to create their future self, how to transform. It's something that a lot of people don't think about. We just assume that we're going to take the self that we are into the future. But I think unless you are actively upgrading yourself, you're just going to remain who you are, or you might even be less than who you are right now. So I think that life has changed and we have an opportunity to transform ourselves if we are actively doing so. So I give a lot of insights, tips, stories from other people who had transformed in my chapter. So it's about 5 pages, about 5 pages long is my chapter.
So I know that you have a lot of insight because you were constantly working with people to help them evolve and be successful. How did all your past experience, help you in writing the stories and sharing the insights into those 5 pages?
Yeah, that's good. That's a great question. I found it very easy to write once I sat down and wrote it. I was pushing the deadline a little bit, but when I started writing it, it really just flowed out, and really it was about 3 sessions to write those chapters. But I just, things came to mind of what I've experienced and what I've heard other successful people talking about. And yeah, I found it pretty easy to share some insights. And the thing with transformation too, the thing with reading about transformation, so when you read this chapter, my personal viewpoint is that information by itself is not transformative, that you actually have to have an experience. So reading something like this book, it puts the seed in your mind, but something has to go with it for that seed to actually grow. I think experience is actually what changes us. But this will inspire that, like if you climb up Mount Everest and you come back down, you're going to be a different person if you have never done it before,
Yeah.
having gone through that experience. And so I think that seeking out experiences that can transform us is something that we should all aspire to. So, but this book will give you some practical things that you can do, that you can work on. But even then, it's the experience of working through the exercise. And this is kind of similar to what I'm doing when I coach people too, is I actually give them mental exercises to do to help them to transform.
So I see within the book description, one of the questions, which I'm sure that the book talks about, is what does it take to perform at your best? I know that you're constantly looking at and helping people evaluate. So based upon your experience, what do you think the answer is? What does it take to perform at your best?
I think to perform at the best is really, it's sort of like looking at all the different components. And when you say perform at your best, it might be helpful to talk about your best in what arena. Are we talking about in sports, in business, in your career,
Mhm.
um, in relationships and communication? So within that arena that you're trying to perform your best, let's say it's in business, okay? And this is something that I'm familiar, because I coach people in entrepreneurship. So performing with your best in terms of business is, one is learning about the actual information, the strategic side, the analytical side, and then that's one part of performing your best. And then the other part is really understanding your psychology for business, your fears, hesitations, all the things that would hold you back from taking powerful actions. So I think performing your best is like putting all the pieces together, knowing the business, knowing your mindset, of course, like taking care of your health, getting good sleep, exercise, diet, nutrition, meditation, all those things are great. But if you put all those really performing your best is like controlling all the different parameters for that. I like the story of, I forget the name of the coach, but he was the coach of the English cycling team. Have you heard this story before?
No, I haven't. Please share.
He took a team. The English cycling team had never won a Tour de France. They never won anything. They were like one of the worst teams ever. And this coach came in and said, "Look, we're just going to improve each area of being a cyclist, and just going to try to improve that 1%." So they came in and let's find out what are the best pillows to use, and the best bike frames to use, and the best clothes to use, and the best diet, exercise, and training regimens. And he just like made these incremental improvements in all the different areas of their performance. And they ended up winning like 4 out of the next 5 Tour de France's, and previously they had never won anything. But I think that's a great story for performance, is you just try to tackle each different component of in that arena. And so I think that's what really peak performance is all about.
I love that story. And I also, one of the takeaways is that sometimes your performance or your best might be different depending upon your condition at the time. So, you might be performing your best, but you have a cold, but another day you might be performing your best, but you're, like you said, you've gotten the best sleep. So it could change.
Right.
Um, so how does having a positive mindset impact everything that we're talking about?
Yeah, well, I think mindset is at the core of everything. It's at the core of your transformation. It's the core of peak performance. Having what I call an unstoppable mindset. It's something that I point to in my film, a documentary film called Leap, because mindset is at the core of entrepreneurship, or even sports. If you take somebody like Michael Jordan, he was a talent. He had some talent, of course. He was trained, of course. He had great coaches. And if you look at the game, there's a famous game that he competed in the NBA championships. It might have been against the Utah Jazz. It was a certain game, but he had gotten the stomach flu. He was like really under amazing flu conditions, anybody else would not have been able to form. And he just was able to reach inside of himself and just under these, you know, immense conditions and still be able to win that game and seize the championship. So I think a mindset is really at the core of everything of performance. It's like the glue that holds all the other pieces in place.
So I don't want to be remiss. I want everyone to know how to reach you because again, you are able to consult and coach and advise individuals as well as, everyone can definitely get this, the Successful Spirit book on Amazon. But how would people reach out to you if they wanted to connect directly with you so you could consult with them?
So they can go to my website, which talks about coaching for engineers who want to become entrepreneurs. The website is amarneo.com, which is AMARNEO.com, or they can email me at richard@amarneo.com.
And all the contact information will definitely be in the block below. So that way, if you don't have paper and pen, just come back to JCooperTravels. And again, Richard has more than one episode, but all of the episodes have his contact information. So it'll be very easy to follow and to reach back out. So you were part of 33 co-authors from both people in the military to people in science, sports, and business, and as well as the mind and body connection. You're an expert in your area. What do you see as the common element within all of you in terms of why you were chosen for this book?
I think the common element was that each of us are just people who are, pushing things forward in our individual fields. And like we're of different backgrounds in sports. Gabby Thomas, who just won a bronze medal in the Olympics, which is amazing. And, I should say that I just feel very privileged to have been invited to this project by Eric, because when after I joined and I started looking at some of my co-authors, I was like, wow, some amazing people. But so anyway, it's great to be in such good group. But I think each of us have excelled in our individual areas in our own way. And we're all very different, but the common thread is just we're just pushing forward in our area.
I don't think you give yourself enough credit because I know in talking with you over the year or so that we've known each other, you've been a world-class athlete yourself. You also are a world-class inventor. So, and you've also transformed yourself, from the engineering into the business, into the coaching side. So again, you've seen all aspects of how someone has followed different paths of passion and interest and then you've reached out and supported, others. So again, I think that he picked very well. And, again, sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit. And in this situation, I definitely think that, your background, if people were to take a deep dive, would find that you've done a lot in your life as well. So
yeah, I'm happy with my path, and I just had a funny thought. If transforming your life and your career from one extreme to the other, if that was an Olympic event, I think I could try out for the Olympics.
I think you could, and I think it would definitely be at the gold level. So why don't you go ahead and share one more time how people can reach out to you, and that way they can also, obtain the book. Like I said, everyone, the contacts that Richard is about to mention will definitely be in the block below.
Okay. Yeah, so the Successful Spirit book, you can just search that on Amazon. The paperback and the Kindle version are available on Amazon. On my website is amarneo.com, AMARNEO.com, and you can email me also at richard@amarneo.com.
And that's great. And everyone, thank you so much for hopping on. Richard, any last minute thoughts that you want to share with everyone?
Just thank you very much for being here. I've enjoyed your podcast very much, and just thanks again for the opportunity.
Not a problem. Everyone stay tuned for the next episode, and everyone remember to be kind to everyone, be kind to yourself, and have a great day.